Well, it says that we're live. Are we live? I have one clock that says 11 a.m. and I have one that says it's a couple minutes of.
You're live.
Okay, so we're good? I'm waiting for the boss to let me know whether we're on live or not.
We're on live.
Okay, so if you can hear me, somebody say that we can hear you. And let me know. Yeah, somebody can hear us? Okay, great. All right, well, good morning, everybody. I just want to, before we get started here, I just want to say I've been on since like 5 o'clock this morning, and the content on here has been unbelievable. It's been great. There's so much good stuff on here. It's just a great way to give back. And before you go anywhere else, we got to say something to Lisa. I got to thank you for doing this, for putting this on, for having the insight and the wherewithal to do this. Especially in this time and what's going on in the country right now, what's going on in the world right now, to get 48 people together to give back. I'm so humbled and I'm so honored to even be a small part of this. Lisa Copeland, I can't thank you enough for doing this. And I'm going to mention you just a little bit later in this message too. I have something else to say about that. But anyhow, my name is Rick Berman. I'm the CEO of RLB Automotive Dealer Partners. I am also a regional account executive for Smart Payment Plan, and most unnotably, I'm the other half of Rick and Laura Berman. And I say that because I know that most of the people on here now know her so much better than me, but give me a chance. I got about 30 minutes to let you know who I am and what I'm about, and I'll try to catch up to her. It's a hard thing to do, a hard thing to follow, but I'm going to give it a shot, okay? And also, now, after 30 plus years in the car business, I decided that I should put some of my thoughts down on paper. So I did. I wrote a book. I am now an author, and I wrote a book called 9 to 9, The Life of a Car Salesman. And it's a fun book. It's not a how-to book. It's a book that if you're in the car business and if you've been in it for any length of time, you can take a stroll down memory lane and have a few laughs. And if you're not in the car business, it's still fun because now you can see things that go on behind the scenes at a car dealership that you didn't know about. So it's fun for everybody. It's a great book about the car business, and it also tells a story of how I got into the car business, which, like I'm sure most of us, was by accident, right? Now let's face it. Who grows up and says, "I want to be a car salesman"? Nobody says, "I want to be a car salesman" when they grow up, right? And why not? Why don't they want to be a car salesman when they grow up? Well, because of the reputation, and I called it earned reputation. We certainly did it to ourselves. But I can tell you that for the last 30 years, I've been trying to change that reputation. As Glenn Lundy says, we need to eradicate this bad name, this bad rap, this bad reputation that we have. So I've been trying to do it one customer at a time for 30 years, which leads me to the topic of discussion today. I want to talk about CSI, the Customer Satisfaction Index. This is very near and dear to my heart. I'm very passionate about this. I mean, my biggest pet peeve is to see customers waiting in a showroom. It shouldn't take 3 hours to sell a car. And you know what? Now that things are changing, maybe we'll figure out how to not take 3 hours. Well, maybe we'll take 3 hours at somebody's house to do it. But anyhow, people wait for the finance office. People sit at a salesman's desk waiting and wondering, what's going on? Where did the salesman go? Did he go see the wizard? Is he behind the curtain? I mean, what's going on? So CSI, customer satisfaction, we need to use a little TLC. We need to start thinking like a customer. And it just seems like, we have forgotten to think like a customer. I'm in and out of dealers all over the country, and you can see why we've earned this reputation. It's more important than ever to think like a customer. I mean, I saw on Facebook last week, Jonathan Dawson, he made a comment. He's one of the best trainers around and one of the most well-respected trainers. And he made a comment saying that when this is all over and we get back to work, that we're not going to be able to tell our customers, hey, come on in and get your best price. Well, it didn't work then. It doesn't work now. It's just like saying to a customer when they're leaving, hey, don't forget to take care of me on the survey. That didn't work before. It doesn't work now. Things are changing. You can't be like that anymore. You have all this extra time on your hands now, right? I mean, the traffic has been decreasing, in the last, 6 months, a year, but now a lot of us are closed. A lot of us are by appointment only. So what are we doing? What are we doing with our time? Well, you should be doing what you should have been doing all along. You should have been building your relationship. And the relationships that you have built over the years, you shouldn't forget about them. I mean, you spent all that time earning their business and selling them a car, and then what? You just let them go? No, you should keep growing those relationships. You need to keep your name in front of your customers at least 4 times a year, minimum 4 times a year. And then you'd have enough repeat and referral customers where you wouldn't have to worry about times like this, where you don't have to worry about that front door swinging. You got to keep your name in front of your customers 4 times a year. So let's start with the first one. Everybody should get a thank you card. People aren't reading their emails anymore. They're checking them, but they don't read them. Card. Send out a card. Send out a thank you card to somebody. It shows that you care and that you're sincere about them. It's really important and it work. So that's one way. That's one. So number 2 would be birthday cards. Let's talk about birthday cards because I am the king of birthday cards. I love birthday cards because birthday cards sell cars. We used to have a saying that balloons sell cars. Not anymore. Birthday cards sell cars. I can't tell you how many cars that I sold off of birthday cards. I can tell you that I sold cars to people who I didn't send a birthday card to. Let me give you an example. I'm sitting at my desk, have a customer in front of me, and another customer walks through the front door, and she's greeted properly, and she says to the salesperson, I heard her say, I don't know his name, but he sold my roommate a car, and my roommate got a birthday card from him. That's a salesman that I want. I don't know his name, but can you look up my roommate and tell me who sold her the car? And this salesman dropped his head, and he said, I don't have to look it up. It was Rick. He's the only one sending out birthday cards. And she waited me for him to finish, and I proceeded to sell her a car also. So birthday cards sell cars. It's a differentiator. It'll differentiate you from your other salespeople, from the competition you have up and down the road. It makes you different, and you do need to be different. It's relationship selling now. You need to create relationships and save the relationships, and then you won't have to worry about CSI. You won't have to worry about customer satisfaction because it'll just come. Okay, so that's 2. So the third thing is you can come up with anything. I mean, there's a holiday every month, right? I mean, March, right? It's spring, right? It's spring. It's 65 degrees outside, and we're in Delaware. Next month is Easter. I mean, every month has a holiday. You can send a card for whatever you want. I love to send anniversary cards because it shows you didn't forget about the customer. It shows you still care about the customer and that they weren't just a number to you. So there's 3. And the 4th one is easy. If you're not sending a holiday card, a Christmas card to everybody that you have, you're missing the boat because everybody loves to get a Christmas card. You want to be different. I mean, you have all this time in your hands now. This is what you should be doing. If you don't have enough repeat and referral business, this is how you get to your repeat and referral business. The cards go a long way. Customers love them. We should be doing that. We should be sending cards out. CSI, customer satisfaction. When does this start? It's not at the end when you're delivering a car, even though that's important, and I'm going to get to that. But CSI starts right at the beginning. As soon as you meet your client or as soon as you meet your customer, that's when it starts. Now, I know they're not coming in the door like they used to because a lot of us have our doors locked and we're only letting people out in on appointment. But the first time you meet somebody, whether it's at the door, online, or on the phone, that's when your customer satisfaction starts. That's when it's a first impression, and we all know you have one chance to make a great first impression. So why wouldn't you make a great first impression every time you meet somebody, every time you speak to somebody, every time you're sending a text, every time you're writing an email? You need to give them the best first impression every single time. Now, let's think like our customer for a minute and think, what do they really need us for? Does a customer really need us for pricing? They don't need us for pricing. Look, we know that before all this crazy stuff happened, they were going to 1.5 dealerships, right? Where they used to go to 5 or 6 dealerships, they didn't need to do that anymore because all the information is out there for them. We know this going in. So why do we treat customers differently? You want to get good CSI? Give your customer the respect that they deserve. Know that they're looking at everything online. They know your price. If they didn't, they would not be contacting you. They would not be coming into your store. They would not be emailing you. They wouldn't talk to you if they didn't know your price. So they already know your price. So stop playing the games with price. Second thing, they know what your trade's worth, don't they? Is that information out there for them? You know it is. Does everybody know KBB? Everybody knows KBB. Edmunds, they know. Not only that, we're begging them to put the information in on our website so we can give them a price for their trade-in. Everybody knows what their trades are worth. So let's stop doing that too. Let's give the customer respect that they know the price, they know the trade-in, and they know the payment too, because we have a calculator. We have a payment calculator on our website. And if we don't have one, Google certainly has one. So they know all this already. So you want good CSI, respect your customer and know that they know this. So let's go back to the question. What do they need us for? They need us for a test drive. They need to see, touch, smell, and drive the car. They cannot do that online. And I know what you're saying. Test drives are tough now. And I know times are changing. Our processes are changing. And as long as we're changing with the times, we'll be fine. But a test drive is really, really important. And they really, really need us for a test drive. It's really distracting, all these things that are coming up on Facebook. Anyhow, let's get back to the test drive. So if you're going to go with them on a test drive, let's not shortcut this. This is really, really important. Let's take them on the best test drive that we can take them on. If you're not going with them, let them know that you know how important a test drive is, and let them take the car as long as they want, as far as they want, whatever they need. Make them fall in love with the car. With you or without you, this is the most important part. This is what they need us for, right? They need us for the car. All right, so they went on a great test drive. They come back, and they love the car, right? So then what happens? You got to deliver the car to them, right? Let's assume everything went okay in the finance office, because that's a topic for another time. We'll talk about the finance office. This is about getting great scores. This is about your surveys. This is about treating customers with respect and treating customers right. So earlier I mentioned that a lot of times I've seen salespeople say, don't forget to take care of me on the survey. You can't do that. People are surveyed out. Everywhere you go, well, when you can go there and when we can get back to going into stores, everybody wants a survey, right? Dunkin' Donuts wants to give you a free donut for a survey. Wawa, Royal Farms, they want to give you a free cup of coffee for a survey. People don't want to do surveys anymore. So you really, really, really have to earn the survey. You really have to earn these good scores. Try competing nationally for these scores. Regionally, locally, it's okay. But you want to compete nationally. I did. I always wanted to compete nationally. I want to see how I compared to the nation. I wanted to be the best in the nation with taking care of my customers. So at the delivery, can't throw them the keys. And you can't even rely on the test drive. You can't think that, oh, well, they went on a test drive. They know everything. As I showed them on the test drive, that's cheating. That's cutting it short. Take your time going over the car with them. Now, if you remember, I said I was going to mention Lisa again. And I have Lisa's book right here, Car Buying Her Way. Let me get that out of the way here. Car Buying Her Way. Which way? There we go. Car Buying Her Way. Lisa has a part in here about how she used to deliver cars. Now, I used to pride myself on delivering cars. I had a separate delivery area. I took my time. I went over everything. But nobody delivers a car like Lisa delivered a car. But I don't have a background in fashion either, Lisa, so I apologize for that. But I love that you do. And I love that you pulled out the red carpet for people. I never even thought of that. I wish I'd have read your book earlier, because I would have had a red carpet if I'd have known about that. So I love it. She had a red carpet. She invited family. She invited friends. She made a great big deal out of it. Well, it is a big deal to deliver a car to somebody. We know that it's the biggest purchase, the second biggest purchase they make in their life. It's the biggest purchase for some, but for most people, it's the second biggest purchase they make in their life. It is a big deal. And we need to treat it as such, and we need to make it a big deal. We don't throw the keys at them. We don't say, take care of me. We take care of them. So the way that I delivered a car and the way that I demanded all of our salespeople to deliver a car is to first make sure that they're comfortable in the seats, get the mirrors adjusted, and then set them into memory. Because nobody knows how to do it. Do I hit the button here first, or do I hit the set button? Which button do I hit? They don't know. Set it for them. Make sure that it works, right? And you can have fun with them. You can even tell them, is it this button or this one? Let's do both and make sure that it works. It's fun. Have fun with it. It's a big thing. Set the steering wheel, right? Do they know where the lights are? Do they know where the wipers are? There's nothing worse than somebody driving a car in the rain and they're playing with their wipers and they're washing the windows while it's raining out. There's nothing worse than that. I mean, that's horrible. You didn't spend 2 minutes to show them where it was, right? Get around the other side and pair their phone for them. Just because they know how to use Bluetooth or they know how to do something on their phone like Facebook, I thank my kids for this, you know. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even have to turn a computer on. You got to set this up for them. You got to set the Bluetooth for them. Make sure their phones are set up. Take it a step further. Set your phone up there too in case they need you for anything. Right? How about the radio stations? Why aren't you setting their radio stations for them? What do you like? What music do you like? And I know there's a lot because you got FM, you got XM, you got everything you got to set up for them. But you need to do this. And then the climate control. You need to show them how it works. There's nothing like what button is it? Because there are so many now, right? The cars are complicated. You need to take your time. You need to go over the car with them. You need to make sure that they're comfortable. You need to make sure that they're happy. You need to make sure that when they drive out of here, they're not going to get into an accident. All right? And speaking about taking it a step further, the delivery is so important to me that I would call the customer when they got home. I wouldn't wait a day, 3 days, a week, whatever your policy is to do your follow-up. I'm calling the customer before they get home because I want to make sure they got home. I want to make sure that they're happy with the car. I want to make sure they know where everything is. And I want to make sure that I invite them to come back into the dealership if that's where we delivered the car, or to ask if I need to come back out and go over something with them. And they may not have figured everything out by now, and they may need some time to do that. So get used to your car, drive it for a while. If you find something on there that I didn't go over, or you forgot what it is, or you found a new gadget, call me and I'll come right out and I'll go over it with you again. I want to make sure that you love your car. I want to make sure that you can tell the manufacturer when they ask that you can give me all excellence on that survey. And I don't even call it a survey because people, like I said, are surveyed out. So I change the verbiage and I call it a report card. Hey, you're going to get a report card from the manufacturer, whoever you work for. And they're going to ask you how your experience was with them. And you need to use the verbiage that is on that survey. So if the verbiage is excellence and you need all excellence, you need to tell them, hey, this is my report card. I need all excellence, please. And you've earned it. You can ask for it by that point. You've done everything you're supposed to do. If you haven't cut any corners and you've given them the best at every step on the sale, if you've given them the best meet and greet, if you've given them the best discovery, and for you you veterans out there, that's the qualifying stage that we don't do anymore, right? We don't qualify, right? But we do ask questions. So we just turn it around. So give them the best of everything that you can. Give them the best test drive. Give them the best delivery. Follow up with them. And before they leave, have a manager do an exit interview with them. Let them know that the store cares about them. Let them know that the company cares about them. They're not just a number. They're a client. This is a customer for life. We're trying to create customers for life. We're trying to create raving fans here. When you want them leaving here, my motto is, what I always taught is that when they leave here, I want them telling everybody how great of an experience they had. I want them to, whatever store that they go to CVS, they go to Walmart, they need to tell them, you need to take lessons from the guys at this dealership. They really know. The guys and the girls at this dealership, they really know how to take care of a customer. You should take lessons from them. That's my goal. That's my passion for CSI. My passion for taking care of a customer is having them talk about us. Having customers come in here. I heard you do this here, you do that here, and you take care of customers, you care about customers. You want friends and relatives and everybody saying, you need to go see Rick, you need to go see so-and-so for their car, because it's just the experience that they got there. You need to create a world-class environment, a customer-oriented world-class environment for buying a car, whether it's virtual now, whether it's in the showroom. Everything's changing. It's changing quickly. It's changing on your websites. You're now inviting people to ask you to come get their car for them. This is not a new concept. Now we're being forced to do what the customer wants us to do. Now we're being forced to TLC. We're being forced to think like a customer. I've been picking customers' cars up for service for 25 years. Back then, service wasn't conditioned to help the customer. They didn't really care about the customer. So I would bring their car in so they wouldn't have to deal with that. I dealt with it. Whatever the reason is, Brian Benstock has been bringing customers' cars in for years now. He has it down to a system, right? So this isn't anything new. This is because times are changing right now because of what's going on out there. So we have to change. We have to change with the times. We have to not only care for the customer, but we have to really let them know that we care for them. It's not, you just can't say it anymore. It's got to come from the heart. You want to get good CSI, it's got to come from the heart. You got to mean it. So we've been taking cars to customers for years, right? If somebody needed to test drive a car and they couldn't get out of work, they were a busy professional, wouldn't you take it to their work? We've been doing this for a long time. So what I'm saying is, as much as things are changing, they're not changing. But our mindset has to change, right? Our culture has to change, like I heard Latif talking about. You know, what a great 30 minutes that was. I was glued. It has to come from the heart. You have to really take care of the customer. So, like I said, we've been doing this for years. We've been taking cars to customers. We've been taking them to their house. We've been taking them to their work. Let's continue, right? Let's not forget about the relationships that we did, that we've built, that we spent all this time building, right? Keep growing those relationships. Keep your name in front of them. So this is a takeaway from this. I feel like I've been talking. I have 10 minutes. I feel like I've been talking for a long time now. So let's recap a little bit. Some of the things that I've been talking about. The TLC, think like a customer. This is so important. I mean, we should have been doing this all along. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But what I'm saying is, we need to do this all the time. It's just like a test drive. Every test drive we go on has to be the best test drive that you can go on, not just around the block. Creating a world-class customer-oriented experience. Create a world-class experience, whether it's online, whether it's in the showroom, whether it's on the phone, whether it's a text message. It doesn't matter. You have one chance to do this right and do it best you can. Stop cutting corners. Do everything that you can. Do it right. Do it the first time. Do it hard. CSI, customer satisfaction indexes, starts from when you first meet your client or your customer. I used to say it starts with the handshake. Well, we're not doing handshakes anymore. We're doing that, right? So whatever you're doing when you first meet somebody, or if it's on the phone, that's when your customer satisfaction starts. When you give it your all, when you give it your best, when you really, really, really care about them, and it shows for their phone that you care about them. They always say you need to smile on the phone. You need to smile all the time. I'm known for smiling all the time. I just do. I just love it. I love people. That's why I got into the car business. That and the accident, that I got into the car business, meeting somebody who talked me into going to sell cars. It's in the book. Read the book. It's fun. So the other thing, lastly, is to keep your name in front of your customers at least 4 times a year. You can do it more because, like I said, there's something every single month that you can send to your customer. And, it doesn't even have to be a holiday or something going on. There's some really innovative things that you can do. You could have a monthly newsletter to go out to your customers. But you need to care, you need to show them you care, and you need to keep your name in front of them. People will forget your name before they get home. They could spend 3 hours with you buying your car, and they're not thinking about you or that. They're thinking about the deal. And they're thinking about the deal they get, and they're trying to protect themselves. So you need to think like a customer. You need to keep your name in front of them 4 times a year. So that's what I want to say about CSI. I forgot to ask you to share this. I'm getting looks right now because I forgot to ask you to share this. I'm sorry.
But everybody on will give those away.
Okay, so if you did share this, I'm going to give you a book. Not everybody, but if whoever shared it the most, and whatever, I'm going to pick somebody and give this book away. And not only am I going to give my book away, 909 The Life of a Car Salesman, I have extra copies of Lisa's book. I like this book so much, I bought extra copies. Well, maybe my other half bought extra copies. But we have extra copies here, and I'm going to give away a copy of Lisa's book too to somebody who shared this out also, because this is a great book. There is so much information in here. I just love what she wrote. I love learning more about Lisa. She's such a great person, not just a car person. She means everything she said. Hey, look, Lisa, I even have your other book over here too. This is your first book that I read, Crushing Mediocrity. Another great book. But I don't have an extra copy of that one. But I have an extra copy of Car Buying Her Way. I'm going to give a copy of Car Buying Her Way, and I'm going to give a copy of my book. Okay, so enough of promoting the books. Lastly, what I want to say is that I've gotten some phone calls this week, and I got some phone calls last week about what's going on. I've got general managers calling me, finance managers calling me, and they really just want to talk about what's happening out there. And we all want it to end, and that's the big question: is when is this going to end? And we don't know. I mean, it's got to get worse before it gets better. We're hoping that the curve is going to start coming on the downside so that we can all get back to work and we all get back to doing this. I know business is going to change a little bit. I know that times are changing, and I know that they're changing quickly. But what I want to say is that, and I watched Adam this morning, Adam Aronson, he said, this too will pass, and this too will pass. We just have to get through it. And this is one way of getting through it, is by doing something like this together, where we can, just confide in each other, tell each other to pray, pray for each other, pray for everybody out there. Wash your hands a lot, right? Things that we should have been doing. As much as things change, they don't really change. Wash your hands. Be smart. Be safe out there. Have lots of toilet paper on hand. But really, I want to say thank you again to Lisa for putting this on. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching. I have not been able to see the timeline. I've just been talking. Hopefully Laura's been thanking everybody, my other half of this, but I didn't want to mention her or bring her in this because you already know who she is. She says you need to know who I am. I don't know why, but when you're ready, listen, if you just want to talk, I'm here. I'm a dealer partner. I'm 30 plus years in the business. I love this business. I never got to get out of it. I don't want to get out of it. I love it. It's near and dear to my heart. If there's anything I can do for you ever, all my information is online. I'm an open book. So I want to thank you again. I want to tell everybody, keep praying. Too will pass. And thank you very much. Lisa, thank you for putting this on. Thank everybody who joined. I had 20-something people on here. I can see that in the picture. And that is awesome. We can talk about the car business all day long, but I think it's enough about the car business. It's more about the country and what's going on. It's about gratitude. It's about giving back. I'll tell you my favorite quote, because I really believe this, and I'm a big Zig Ziglar fan, and my favorite quote is from Zig Ziglar. My favorite quote is, if you'll just help enough other people get what they want, you'll have everything in life that you want. That is my favorite quote. I'm going to leave you with my favorite quote. I'll leave you with a little Zig Ziglar, but before this is all over, and help everybody because we need it right now. Right, the country is hurting. People are hurting. If you didn't have a lot of compassion before, it on you. Whatever you can do. We're all on social media now because we have so much time. We're sitting home. We're seeing what's going on. We saw something from the church in town that needed food in their cupboard. They have an outdoor cupboard with food in it, and they put on Facebook, if you need something, come and take whatever you need. If you can leave something, leave something. So hopefully I have a beautiful, loving wife who cares about everybody out there, and together we went shopping and we filled the cupboard for it. So it's Sunday. It's probably time to do it again, honey. What do you think?
I do.
Yeah, I know you do. So whatever you can do to help out your neighbor, make sure you're calling, texting your family, your friends, see how they're doing. I'll give a shout out now to my 84, almost 85-year-old mother who
She's on there.
Who's on here. Oh, good. I didn't even see that. Hi, Mom. Love you. Who I'm calling much more now than I ever did, and I was called a lot. I'm the oldest son. I'm her number one. She loves me more than the other two. So call your family. Call your mother. Call your brothers and sisters, your friends. See how they're doing. Even if you know they're okay, it still feels good to reach out and touch somebody. It still feels good to find out how they're doing, and they love too. So love, with all the love in my heart, I want to reach out. I can feel now my heart is beating because I was talking about my mother, right? Yeah. It's like when I talk about you.
Oh, and Serena Hicks is next.
Okay. And lastly, don't forget, next is Serena Hicks. Make sure you sign on to Serena's page, Serena Hicks. Online networking. Serena Hicks. Online networking is next. I thank everybody who was on here. I thank all 48 of you who was giving back. I thank Lisa again. Is it 11:30? It's 11:29 and change. I think I spoke long enough. I spoke for a long time. Right? Thank you. I love you. I love you all. Bye-bye.